Imperialism is a policy or practice where one nation extends its control over other territories or countries through military, political, or economic means. It often involves the domination of one group over another, leading to the exploitation of resources, labour, and cultural influence in the colonized regions. The origins of imperialism date back to ancient civilizations, but it became particularly significant during the Age of Exploration and the Industrial Revolution. European powers such as Britain, France, and Spain established vast empires by colonizing regions in Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Imperialism was driven by motives such as economic gain, strategic advantage, and the spread of cultural or religious ideologies. Imperialism operates through several core dynamics, including economic exploitation, political dominance, and cultural assimilation, each contributing to the expansion and maintenance of empires. One key dynamic is economic exploitation, where the colonizing power extracts resources and labour from the colonized territory. For example, during British rule in India, raw materials such as cotton and tea were exported to fuel Britain's industrial economy, while local industries were suppressed. This created wealth for the imperial power at the expense of the colonized region's economic development. Political dominance is another hallmark of imperialism, involving the imposition of governance structures by the colonizing power. For instance, European nations established colonial administrations that controlled local laws, policies, and leadership. This often stripped colonized populations of political autonomy and subjected them to decisions made by foreign rulers. Cultural assimilation is also a characteristic of imperialism, where the colonizing nation imposes its language, education, and cultural practices on the colonized people. For example, in many African and Asian colonies, European languages became the medium of education and administration, marginalizing indigenous cultures and traditions. This often led to the erosion of local identities and a sense of cultural subjugation. Imperialism is widely criticized for its exploitative and oppressive nature. One major critique is its role in creating long-term economic disparities, where colonized regions were left underdeveloped and dependent on former colonial powers. Imperialism also led to significant human suffering, including forced labour, displacement, and the suppression of resistance movements. Culturally, it often resulted in the loss of indigenous traditions and identities, replaced by the imposed values of the imperial rulers. Solutions to imperialism include self-determination, anti-colonial movements, and international cooperation. Self-determination advocates for the right of peoples to govern themselves and make decisions about their political and economic systems. Anti-colonial movements, such as those in India and Africa, sought to end imperial domination and reclaim national sovereignty. International cooperation, as embodied by organisations like the United Nations, emphasises mutual respect, equality, and collaboration among nations to address global challenges without domination or exploitation. These approaches aim to promote equity and autonomy in international relations.